fuck up finding you in shadow. I'll take the notes, I know it's alright. I'll meet you someday out there in the shadow.
Hi Tim, thanks. I wanted to ask you about, well, I know questions about the writing process are really boring and you've answered them, many times because you're quite old. But what was the writing process like?
Oh, thank you. It's nice to meet you too, one-on-one. Mano a mano. Mano a mano. The writing process was, I don't quite know how to explain it, that I would get excited and grab an instrument and perform something and then get inspired to write lyrics in accordance or in discordance with the music I was making in my hands, and go for long walks, and I get very excited by tunes and by music, and so I'd let myself become excited enough to start writing songs.
Well, I'm wondering, because you've made so many albums, that why when you get that kind of impetus, that feeling inside yourself that you know that you want to make a You Are My record.
You Are My is a band that I think we're wonderful, amazing even, but for us to be together and to be as a band together all year, we'd kind of explode.
Right.
I think that we feel so much for each other and are intrigued by each other. I'm intrigued by those guys.
That's interesting.
I think we all need to take breaks from each other and do other things, because we're all interested in different forms of music and of art. But then when we get together, we really love making a racket.
Right.
With Dilettantes, we managed to meet the two, so I don't know really whether I want this to end, because it's the mixture of it's the mix of energy and enthusiasm and love and extraordinarily loud noise that I think is the perfect art.
I'm wondering, this is a question I've asked the other guys as well, but you've got this kind of rock and roll thing about you, or the way you dress and velvet crushed trousers and the like, and yet all the talk about this album seems to be about you, a bit about it being a love of creation and of beauty. And do you think those things are kind of clashing against each other? Because I've seen some clips and you seem very like a rock and roll band, and then but talking so much about about with your lyrical content and your love of the aesthetic. Is that a clash between those two things?
Well, I think that's the wonderful thing about it, that I dress like I do because I would like someone to walk past me every day and think, that chap dresses optimistically, like that, what, there's a chance that something better is going to happen 5 minutes around the corner.
Right.
So so just let's put that out of the way. Rock and roll, and what you call kind of rock and roll. Why people do it is it's because it really feels good. And there's something about the feeling of playing in a rock and roll band that if you do it as a posture, well then you're just a wanker. But if you do it because you look better doing that and you feel good doing that, then I've got to ask, why wouldn't you do it? To get elements that would seem to be, as you say, diametrically opposed, and put them together, well, that's where interesting things happen. I'm aware of what you're talking about, but I look good in certain clothes, and I want to write better songs. I don't think that that's such a. I think it's a wonderful mix.
I want to know, and I want to ask you, what what you want out of this record, either as opposed to previous records, and then anything with your aspirations similar to past records. And it's a three-part question. Also, what were the Strokes like?
You are intriguing.
All right. So, well, I've never been to see the band. A friend of mine, he went to the Falls Festival in about 2004.
You're a twat.
All right.